Welcome to the DATV Luminary Award Celebration. Go ahead and continue eating, and I'll just keep things going, so absolutely continue your meal. My name is Jackie Daly-Perrin. I'm a senior counselor with Development Systems International, and I work with the National Association for Nonprofit Organizations and Executives. That's just a very long way of saying that I have the honor of traveling across our great country every week to work with nonprofit charities and help them solve their mission and fundraising needs. Over the past year, I've been in Texas, Indiana, Maryland, New Jersey, Montana, Missouri, Florida, and of course, here in the great state of Ohio, where I make my home. I need to let you know that DATV is an exceptional organization, and I've had the pleasure of working with. The dedicated staff who work alongside with the board members, the DATV members, and community organizations each day to bring forth the voices of the Dayton community is truly commendable. We have an amazing program lined up for you. We know there are many places where you could be tonight, and so we want to thank you for joining us. We're honored to have you here. Tonight is a fundraising event. Brace yourself. Tonight we're going to raise $275,000. But we'll talk about that later. How about that? All right. But first, a bit of housekeeping. So in case you hadn't already done so, if you would silence your cell phones, that would be great. And to each of you, when you sat down, there were a couple different things at your seat. There was a pledge card, and there's a pen at the center. There should be a pen for each person at that. And great news, you don't need to worry about that, at least not yet. So we'll revisit the pledge card at the end of the evening. There's also a program card, looks like this, and that'll allow you to follow along tonight with the lineup of speakers that we have. And of course, we have a brochure. This is all about DATV and our plans for the next few years. Please take it with you and read it over when you get a chance. I share this MC role this evening with a local community advocate, Lisa Grigsby. I'd like to turn it over to Lisa at this time.
Well, hi there. Great to see so many familiar faces and a few new ones in the room as well tonight. So I have worked with DATV for years and years. I have been on the board of many nonprofits, and we have taken advantage of the great opportunity to go be able to film PSAs at DATV, and that has been wonderful. I also am the Greater Dayton Film Commissioner, so I help films get made here, and we have a joint membership where people can belong to DATV and the Film Commission to support us. So we have worked a lot with the folks over at DATV, do a lot of recommending for people that are interested in learning how to make films, use the equipment that DATV has. And to be honest, I don't know how many of you know that they really have state-of-the-art equipment there for people to work with. They do classes. They are happy to teach you how to do films or a podcast or whatever it takes. So it's just an awesome, awesome gem in our community. And I hope that many of you are here tonight, hopefully because you are familiar with it. And we do appreciate that you are willing to support it. I'd also like to give a big shout out to Morgan Stanley. They are our sponsor tonight for the dinner. So many of you were invited here tonight, and you noticed that we didn't ask you for, a fee for dinner or a ticket. And it's because of Morgan Stanley. So can we give them a big round of applause and thank them? It's wonderful when we have great community supporters like that are here to help us. And we do appreciate it. It's now my pleasure to announce our first speaker of the evening, Maggie Barlow. Maggie served on the DATV board for 30 years, helping to guide us through all the changes and challenges of the ever-changing landscape of media the transformations that have gone on. Please help me give a warm welcome to Maggie as she shares an inside look at DATV.
Thanks for making me feel my age, Lisa. I want to welcome you all to a new era of community empowerment and storytelling with Dayton's community voice, DATV. As Lisa mentioned so nicely, I am Maggie Barlow, and tonight I have the joy of not only sharing where we're headed as a community, but also reflecting on how we got here. Because DATV's story is as rich and resilient as the voices we lift up every day. Maybe I should start at the very beginning. Back in the 1950s, as television was becoming a staple in every home, many of us, especially in rural or mountainous areas, had to work hard just to get a clear signal. I still remember as a kid, we had a giant antenna tower outside our house with a motorized base so we could rotate it to catch the best signal. But even with that, some areas still struggled. That's when the concept of cooperatives emerged. Communities banded together, placing antennas high on hills or mountains, and using repeaters to deliver television signals to homes throughout the cooperative. From these humble beginnings, cable television was born. Now, as cable evolved, it did more than just improve reception. Cable companies realized that they could carry not only the local broadcast stations, but also additional channels, expanding access to information and entertainment. So naturally, the FCC stepped in to regulate this growing industry. They wanted to make sure that cable companies remained anchored to the communities they served. So they created what's called the PEG system. That's public, educational, and government television. Cable companies were required to give back, providing access to the airwaves and contributing 5% of their revenues, which is a fee known as the public right-of-way, to fund these essential community channels. Here in Dayton, these funds come to the city, and a portion is directed to DATV, partially sustaining our mission to be the voice of this incredible community. Now, fast forward to 1977, when a bold visionary named Roxy L. Cole dreamed even bigger. Roxy dared to imagine a public access station right here in Dayton, one that would stand as a beacon of free speech and give a platform to those whose voices had too often gone unheard. On April 1st, 1978, that dream became a reality as Dayton Public Access Television was born, and Roxy became known nationwide as the godmother of access centers, with Dayton's model inspiring communities around the country. At first, DATV found its home in humble spaces, operating out of the Theological Seminary and shared offices with the cable company. But after 15 years, a pivotal opportunity emerged. With encouragement from the cable provider, DATV's board of directors made a bold move to purchase and renovate our very own building at 280 Leo Street, which is where we still are located. Now, when I say encouragement, I mean significant investment. A $3 million commitment from the cable company spread out over 5 years to support our relocation. But what's truly remarkable is what happened next. With extraordinary oversight, our board didn't just spend those funds, they invested them. They placed that money into an investment fund, safeguarding DATV's future and ensuring that we could continue to evolve alongside technology. Today, I am very proud to tell you that we still retain the majority of that principle. It continues to serve as a lasting foundation for everything we do. And what we've done since then is nothing short of extraordinary. Today, DATV reaches over 520,000 homes throughout Montgomery County and beyond. But it's not just about reach, it's about impact. Every day, we equip our community with the tools to create, communicate, and connect. From our high school broadcasters program, where students learn to produce daily announcements and sports coverage, to our workshops in podcasting, robotics cameras, studio production, sound mixing, and technical direction, we're training the next generation of storytellers and media professionals. We've opened our doors to the world, hosting 17 students from Bosnia-Herzegovina last year who came to learn how media can drive civic engagement in their home country. And closer to home, we've partnered with refugees from the Congo, helping them create bilingual programming in English and Swahili, ensuring that the newcomers feel welcome and informed as they build their new lives here in Dayton. And through our signature spring and fall nonprofit days, we help nonprofits and churches across the region produce professional-grade promotional videos, expanding their reach not only on DATV, but across social media and their own platforms. Just last year, our DATV community produced over 3,000 original productions. Each program is a celebration of voices rising, stories shared, and connections made. We remain faithful stewards of our resources, careful custodians of the trust placed in us, and relentless champions for the people of Dayton. Because DATV is more than a station. It's a movement built on a foundation of freedom of speech, community empowerment, and the unshakable belief that everyone deserves to be heard. So tonight, as we honor the bright lights of our community, I invite you to continue this journey with us. Together, we will keep the airwaves open, the cameras rolling, and the voices of Dayton rising. Thank you all for being part of our story, and thank you for being Dayton's community voice.
Finally on, and we are extremely happy that it's finally happened.
Since 1978, DATV has given Dayton the community's voice and the power to be the voice of change by providing the latest technology to create programs for and about the community. Technology advances at a rapid pace, especially when it comes to cameras and computers. We strive to stay up to date so we can continue to use state-of-the-art equipment to provide user-friendly training and encourage you to create great programs.
Today we have a production called KISS. Is then again a way for the voice of Dayton to be heard. We have a lot of social events. We have a lot of public things that take place right here, nonprofit organizations, doing things positive in our community. The access station here can be renamed the Voice of Dayton. Community access has had always a positive effect on my life, that anyone that have a thought or any type of something they want to reach the public with, you have access to on-hand camera operation, editing. The diversity of the people that we have, the diversity of thought, organization, and to bring all those things together, those gems and those carrots that otherwise that no one would know about.
And I would just see all these interesting things going on within the city, and I thought, wow, you know, I would like to be a part of my community, but at the same time, I'm an entertainer. I can do things for my community on the local level. It made me feel like I had a little more power in that sense. There's an openness down here that I don't really find anywhere else. You know, it's great that we have all these other options with this, but to actually do this in person, it's a totally different perspective and experience that you should have.
Well, I started with DATV because our church wanted to start doing videos and live streaming, things like that. So I had no clue how to do that. And somebody had told me about DATV. So I said, well, let me go down there and see what it's like. Along with doing shows with my church, I produce my own shows. I have 2 shows. One of them is called Spot On, and it's more of an entertainment show. And then also I have another show called Flowers While You're Living. And that one talks to people that need to receive their flowers now while they're living. I do believe that DATV is a positive part of my life.
And my dad and uncle have a podcast here. When I learned what they were doing, I just became more interested in it and I wanted to learn more about it. The video podcast room really caught my interest. I immediately signed up for classes and started a production called Shadows of Strong for men and women to have a voice. There's a lot of history here that I think people tend to forget about. So just create a space for people to kind of talk about that history and how they grew up here and how it shaped their lives.
My mentor, one day he asked me at school that I wanted to shoot a TV show. I'm like, oh yeah, that seemed like it'll be fun. So I tried it out and it was fun. This is gonna be a fun ride. That part where I was floor director, that's still my favorite memory. One thing I like to do in the future is to make like a short film. I'll just say that if you ain't never been to DATV, you should definitely come try it out.
It has benefited the church itself. It has benefited our presence in the community.
During COVID, our training in DATV was put to the test. We didn't lose our church audience because our church improved based off of what they could see. Our first major group of programs, we were interviewing community organizations, businesses. Right. So we were spotlighting businesses to be around people who want to improve the neighborhood, the community, life, others. It's been great.
A lot of ideas come from the little people that are living in the real world.
DATV also broadcasts the latest city and county commission meetings every week. As public access stations around the country continue to face funding difficulties or vanish from the public eye, DATV remains an important and unique attribute to the community, one that celebrates free speech and unfiltered expression while providing education, top-notch technology, and unique opportunities for the public. Join DATV today to be a part of the community's voice.
Good evening. See if I can work this. If not, good. My name's Michelle Graves, and I've been affectionately known for 40 years as the money lady. And it doesn't mean that I'm giving away money, but it has been a powerful platform for educating everyone except the 1% about money. And I am from Cincinnati, and I make a drive up here for the last 13 years. Every Tuesday, I would make the drive from Cincinnati, although I'm a Kentuckian, so don't get it twisted, to do the show. And I just want to say briefly, if you haven't watched the show, you should, because the 40 years I have been in this industry includes Wall Street, mergers and acquisitions, as well as just common regular people. I'm honored and privileged to be associated with this organization. You have no idea how powerful and how humble these people are. And they have changed my life in my hometown of Cincinnati as I tell them you really need to check out Dayton, because they are the nicest, most professional people I have worked with over all of these years. My subject matter deals with money, finance, insurance, nursing homes, attorneys, everything, because in 40 years, I have dealt with everything. So I just want to thank the executive director, Mr. Phillips, who I adore, to Melissa Constantine, who is responsible for me being in 56 markets in the United States right now, including New York and Philadelphia, right here out of Dayton. So I just want to tell you all, this is my passion. These people are like my family. And I don't mind that drive. And I drove through COVID. I drove through hurricanes. I've driven through floods. And it is an honor and a privilege. So thank you all so much. And again, when you have the opportunity, listen in to The Power of Money with Michelle Graves. Thank you.
My name is Malcolm Keith. I've been blessed with a fantastic job. I'm the director of a high school Christian mentoring program called Dayton Urban Young Life. Basically, what I do is myself and other staff members and volunteers, we go into high schools, local high schools at lunchtime and just do whatever's needed to be there for the staff and the students. With that being said, we're in there every day for the whole entire school year. So we meet all the kids in high school. The beauty of DATV is, like Michelle just said, they treat myself and our kids like family. I mean, I love Randy to death. There's times I've just called him on the fly and say, hey, Randy, I have two van loads full of high school students. Can we come by? And he just opens up the doors, and we go through the entire training from doing podcasts to making a TV show just on the whim. And you just don't know, I really love that, along with the scheduled times we come in. And the beauty of it is it gives our high school students a whole new avenue of just talking and expressing themselves to the point where we go back to school the next day, and then we have 20 or 30 more kids that want to do it. So I want to thank everybody that's supported DATV in the past, and I want to thank everybody that's going to support it in the future, because this coming summer, we plan on doing a television show on financial literacy with teenagers. And I'm excited that DATV has opened up their doors for that. I mean, because I can only imagine what that's going to look like when teens are talking to other teens about financial literacy. So thank you guys for everything you're doing, and just thank you. Thanks again to DATV.
I'm having to take the microphone over to someone who has a mobility issue. So, Miss Joyce, this is your time to shine.
I am going to stay. Good evening, everyone. I am Joyce Willis, and I am the board vice chair of Dayton Public Access TV. Our board chair, who is Dr. Marlies Durr, was ill and unable to be here this evening, so I'm reading hers. At DATV, we believe in the power of storytelling, not just to inform, but to inspire. Tonight, we shine the light on individuals whose lives and work reflect the very best of our community. The Luminary Awards were created to recognize those who elevate voices, challenge norms, and light the way for others through their passion, leadership, and unwavering commitment to service. DATV has been honored to have covered many of the events and activities these community luminaries have been involved in. Each of our honorees tonight embody the spirit of public access media, authentic, courageous, and deeply rooted in the community. They remind us that we empower people to speak, create, and connect. Real change is possible. So please enjoy join in the celebrating of these remarkable individuals who have continued to illuminate our city and our future. Thank you.
I am new to DATV, so I'm still very much still learning. Good evening, and I hope you've had a wonderful time so far. My name is Kathleen Caffrey. I am, I think, the newest board member of DATV so far. So if I'm a little green, that's a little bit of a lie. Tonight, I have the privilege to honor a friend. I am introducing the Cultural Luminary Award, as it honors those in our community who shine a light and make a cultural impact on our community. I first met Omofe Carter Boiku, or as I know her, Mama O, at a meeting for a project called Our Town with Culture Works. I was a beginning artist and eager to find a way to help my community, and Mama O was the wise, stern, and trusted voice giving us the lessons we would need in our journey to take more important roles going forward. As the project took form, she introduced us to her home and the people that meant the most to her. She showed us in real time what it was to be part of a community and to stand up for the things that meant something. The project was used to create a community space for the Edgemont Solar Garden, which was the perfect vessel for the wisdom she gave us. She taught us by letting us watch that to be part of anything, you have to jump in and work constantly with your own two hands, mess and all. And that the devotion to something much bigger than you can mean so much. Mama O is from Irontown, Ohio, and proudly identifies as Appalachian of mixed ancestry. She has more than 30 years of experience as an international performance artist, published writer, and voice for cultural preservation. She is a passionate champion of African American, Appalachian, and Afro-Latin heritage, using her talents to bridge communities and generations through the arts. She is a founder of the Dunbar Literary Circle, artist in residence at the Paul Laurence Dunbar House, and cultural advisor at Sinclair College. She has made it her mission to elevate local voices and share generational wisdom. Her work appears in prestigious anthologies and has earned accolades, including a nomination from the Pushcart Prize for a short story, The Power of Water Baptism. Her impact extends far beyond the written word, whether leading story circles, producing culturally relevant curriculum through her company Homeside, or inspiring youth through programs like Muse Machine and Ohio Storytelling Network, she breathes life into every lesson and every stage that she graces. Since the pandemic, she has turned her focus to revitalizing African American heritage agriculture on Dayton's west side, where I met her, reconnecting communities to the land, healthy food, and cultural pride. Through her grassroots work in nutrition, health, and civic education, she continues to weave stories of resilience and possibility. Her voice has traveled from Dayton to the stages of Germany and Turkey, and her heart remains steadfast in service to our community. Whether on screen, on the page, or in person, Mama O invites us all to listen deeply, connect more fully, and celebrate the rich tapestry of cultures that make Dayton home. Please join me in honoring my friend, Mama O, to our 2025 Cultural Luminary for her extraordinary contributions to the cultural life of Dayton and for being a guiding light of heritage, hope, and humanity.
Some of you can see that I'm height challenged, so I'll peep around the corner. Thank you. Seldom do I have a mic that picks up so well that I don't have to raise my voice. Listening to other people tell you who you are is quite humbling. And I am overwhelmed with looking at my own history in this room. Michelle I knew when I was an undergraduate at the University of Cincinnati, learning how to manage my own money. Tom Roberts here is the brother to Rhonda Miller, where I give service at Edgemont Solar Garden. He knows me. Michael has known me before the world knew me. For my first storytelling performance for the Ohio Art Council was right across the street at the Dayton Art Institute. I had a 4-month-old baby with me. I have performed multiple times at the Dayton Black Cultural Festival, so you may know me as a folklore storyteller. I write for Community Voices at WYSO, so every now and then at 2 o'clock in the morning, you will hear my voice saying what you will listen to at 10. I have so much enjoyed flourishing in this community, and I so deeply appreciate your acknowledgement.
So I'm so excited that I have the great opportunity to introduce my friend and one of my fellow women of influence, a leader whose story is... Well, performance issues there? See if we can make that work. Can you hear me now? All righty. So the woman I'm about to introduce is a leader whose story is woven into the fabric of Dayton, a woman who carries forward a family legacy of entrepreneurship, community service, and unrelenting drive, Janelle Ross. Janelle is the president of Bob Ross Auto Group, the only dealership in the nation owned by a second-generation African-American woman. Following in the pioneering steps of her parents, the late Robert P. Ross Sr. and Norma J. Ross, Janelle continues to build on the remarkable achievements. The Ross family legacy includes founding the very first African-American-owned Mercedes-Benz dealership in the world, right here in our community. Janelle stepped into leadership at just 27 years old under the weight of an unexpected loss and turned that challenge into an opportunity. With grace and determination, she not only kept the family business thriving, but expanded its reputation for excellence in service, sales, and community engagement. It's her impact beyond the showroom floor that truly shines. In memory of her mother, she founded the Norma J. Ross Memorial Foundation, championing breast cancer education, early detection, and financial assistance for underserved women. Through the Pink Ribbon Driven campaign, Janelle has mobilized our community with events like annual walks, golf outings, and has raised over $1.1 million to support life-saving breast cancer research and services. Her dedication doesn't stop there. Janelle has also, oops, I lost my place, bear with me. Almost there. She serves on local boards, both national and international, from the Federal Reserve Bank to Minority Business Initiatives, and she's a proud member of the United Way's esteemed Tocqueville Society, help strengthening families through programs like the Strong Families Initiative and Prosperity Key Digital Marketplace. Janelle exemplifies the very essence of community leadership, rising to challenges, lifting others as she climbs, inspiring the next generation to lead with heart and purpose. Please join us in welcoming and celebrating Janelle Ross, our 2025 Community Luminary, for her tireless commitment to empowering Dayton, honoring her family's legacy, and driving positive change across our region.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Lisa, for that very nice introduction. I am deeply honored and humbled to receive the Community Luminary Award tonight. This recognition is not just a reflection of my efforts, but of the incredible people who have poured into me, guided me, and walked beside me through my journey. First and foremost, I want to thank my parents, Norma and Bob Ross. Their philanthropic spirit and sharp business acumen laid the foundation for everything I strive to do. They didn't just talk about giving back, they lived it. Watching them serve with heart and lead with purpose taught me that success means little if it doesn't lift others along the way. I also want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to DATV for your continued support of the Norma J. Ross Memorial Foundation. Your partnership has amplified our mission in ways we couldn't have imagined. Together, we're creating spaces of healing, hope, and opportunity, and I know my mother is shining down as we stand here this evening. To everyone in this room who is making a difference in your own way, thank you for being a part of a community that believes in impact over applause. This award belongs to all of us who keep showing up, keep giving, and keep believing in better. Thank you.
I'm a very lucky girl tonight. I get to present another award. This one is to introduce one of our bright stars, a luminary of the arts, Dr. Robert L. Brandt. Dr. Bob and I have worked together for many years on many projects over the years, from the Masquerade fundraiser for the AIDS Resource Center to projects at the LGBT Center and many other arts-related projects. Dr. Bob has enriched his life through art since childhood. During high school, he aspired to be a fine artist in porcelain statuary, convincing his parents to allow him to attend the Dayton Art Institute in 1971 in pursuance of this dream. The following year, Dr. Bob shifted his access to broader horizons and transferred to Wright State University, which changed his life insurmountably. Recognized for his academic excellence, he was awarded student housing that greatly facilitated his active participation with the community, strengthening his altruistic nature. Dr. Bob's education exposed him to various different people, ideas, and challenges. Unlike many others, he embraced these differences at every step. Working as a personal assistant for the disabled encouraged his interest in medicine, and in 1980, he graduated with a charter class from what is now the Boonshoff School of Medicine. At that time, he received the Outstanding Graduate Award for his academic excellence and representation as an exemplary person in family medicine. In 1983, following his residency, he opened a medical practice that included obstetrics across from Xenia's Green Memorial Hospital. Later that same year, Dr. Bob diagnosed his very first case of HIV. Amidst the stigmatization of HIV, Dr. Bob sensed a need for both support and action. Intent on making treatment accessible for those at risk and available for those in need, he participated in various organizations, even co-founding the Dayton Area AIDS Task Force, which is now Equitas Health. From 1990 through 2008, Dr. Bob continued his solo practice at a Dayton office called Healthcare Interventions. After 2008, Dr. Bob joined the Department of Family Medicine at the Boonshoff School of Medicine, coming full circle back to his alma mater. Along with his many families and non-HIV patients, Dr. Bob had the privilege of serving and caring for more than 2,000 people with HIV throughout his career until his retirement in 2018. Although seemingly short-lived, Dr. Bob's interest in the arts was not forgotten. In fact, his involvement in medicine strengthened his connection to the community, making possible the involvement and impact he had on the arts in the greater Dayton area. In addition to his participation in medically focused organizations, he's worked with many community nonprofits, including City Folk, the Glen Helen Association, the Contemporary Dayton, the Greater Dayton LGBT Center, the Levitt, and many, many more. He has remained an avid supporter for creativity and education, crediting his high school art teacher for the love he has since devoutly fostered. Like many lovers of art, Dr. Bob is a hoarder of beauty, or the most socially accepted term, a collector. His collections span from classical, fine art to contemporary pieces from local galleries and the artists himself. Dr. Bob's continuous and intentional engagement with Dayton's performing arts and visual art scene illustrates both the value he places on creative expressions, the genuine love he has for the arts. However, it's not Dr. Bob's love for the art which makes him deserving of the Dayton Arts Luminary Award, but his ability to recognize and highlight the beauty around him. Anyone can love art, not everyone can see it. This award recognizes Dr. Bob for his instinct to support our community by exposing the beauty present within it. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Robert Brandt.
When you get older, you get stiff. Thank you very much. It's really hard to talk after everybody else has already been up here. It's very humbling to get this kind of award. I had no idea this was going to be all set up this way, and to tell you the truth, it was almost like celebrating your a surprise birthday party or a retirement party. So I had no idea everybody would be here. Several people I haven't seen in years, and others I've seen just recently. Just thank you for showing up and joining me and getting a nice dinner and this award. I don't really know what to say. I had something written out, but it just does not fit. So all I can tell you is my connection with DATV goes back to Randy Phillips, and kind of knowing him through the LGBT Center and becoming aware of what Dayton Access TV has done. I think I've actually been interviewed, done a few shows and all that, but it's been so long, it's kind of like in the distant past. And a lot of the subject matter I was discussing always tended to be around HIV and AIDS, so wasn't necessarily all pleasant. And although I tried to make it educational. I guess I'm really a supporter of the arts, performing arts and visual arts. And I'm somebody who helps support the underdog, because that's kind of how I felt when I was growing up. Not quite the fantastic person everybody wanted to see. I was always the underdog. And so it's, to me, it's supporting the people that need the help so that they can be successful in the future. So because through whatever means happened in my life and I became materially successful, I can't take it with me to the grave, so it's like I need to help support others to be able to do what they can. So I'm really behind DATV. It's a valuable resource for this community and needs to continue, especially in these times. And I don't need to explain what that means. So all I can say is this is supposed to be a fundraiser, so just come through your, open your pockets and help DATV, because I certainly will. And thank you very much for everything.
And now our final award for this evening, the Trailblazer Luminary Award. Earlier tonight, you heard the story of Roxy L. Cole, the fearless founder of DATV, who believed in giving voice to the voiceless. And tonight, we honor another of Dayton's natives, a trailblazer, someone who has spent his life amplifying voices, championing justice, and using the stage and screen as a platform for a purpose. Born right here in Dayton, Ohio, Ramon Antonio Gerard Estevez, or as the world knows him, Martin Sheen, is not only an acclaimed actor of the stage and screen, but also a relentless advocate for peace, justice, and human dignity. His journey from the streets of South Park and Dayton to international acclaim is remarkable in and of itself, but that makes Martin Sheen a true luminary. And a luminary is not just a celebrated career, which includes iconic roles like Apocalypse Now or Badlands or West Wing, The Departed, The Way. It is his steadfast commitment to activism and his deep moral conviction that truly defines him. The son of immigrant parents, a Spanish father, and an Irish mother, Martin's early life in Dayton was shaped by struggles, resilience, and community. He had never forgotten those roots. From organizing his first strike at age 14 as a caddy at the Dayton Golf Club, to standing alongside Cesar Chavez and being arrested for over 60 different times for peaceful protests, Martin Sheen has consistently used his platform to confront injustice. His activism spans generations, and from opposition to nuclear weapons and war, to fighting for farm workers, environmental justice, and immigration reform. His work with the Catholic Workers Movement and dedication to human rights has inspired millions. As Martin himself once said, while acting is what I do for a living, activism is what I do to stay alive. A son of Dayton, Martin has also given back to our local community as he is an honorary trustee of the Dayton International Peace Museum, has supported Wright State University's art scholarships, and continues to carry our city's spirit of perseverance and hope wherever he goes. Although Martin is currently overseas filming tonight and unable to be with us, we are honored to welcome someone very special to accept this award on his behalf, his sister-in-law, Barbara Estevez.
Hello, I'm Martin Sheen, and I'm terribly sorry I'm not able to join you in person in Dayton, Ohio, my hometown, to accept the Roxy L. Cole Trailblazer Award. I'm deeply honored and grateful to Dayton Public Access TV and its executive director, Randy Phillips, for having chosen me for this honor, as well as my sister-in-law, Barbara Estevez, for accepting the award on my behalf. Now to my charge. Freedom of speech is a basic human right. It is not given by the gracious hand of any state. Nonetheless, if what we hold dear is not costly, we're left to question its value. Apparently, the current administration knows the price of everything and the value of nothing. And while it may have the power, it does not have the right to abuse or restrict any basic human right, least of all, freedom of speech. The inescapable reality of disinformation, cynicism, and the lie of the land have made opportunities for activism and free speech vital and necessary. And though history may not always remember, heaven will never forget what we did or where we hid during 47's second coming. And this above all, we're not asked to be successful. We are only asked to be faithful. And remember, one heart with courage is a majority, because courage is contagious and inspiring. So let us all take courage, stand up and speak out clearly, because free speech is clearly in jeopardy and may soon cease to exist if we fail to do so. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me okay? No? I was told not to touch the mic. This is what happens when you marry into a famous family. You never know what you're going to be asked to do. I'm sure my comments are a little different than his were, a little bit more personal. But thank you, Randy and DATV, and congratulations to each of the Luminary Award winners this evening. I share your disappointment that Martin isn't able to be with us tonight, but when he asked if I'd be here for him, I didn't hesitate. First, because when I answered the phone, he said, "Hey, kid," and a woman of generous years doesn't hear that every day. I know I wasn't his first choice. That would have been a real professional speaker, John Estevez, his younger brother and my late husband. Though I hesitate to use that term, John was never late for anything. When I thought about what to say tonight, I was flooded with 43 years of memories and only 3 minutes to speak. So I've chosen 4 things, but you scooped me with the strike at the country club, so I can skip over that. But I do believe that might have been his first activism. Martin loves his hometown. Whenever he comes home, he looks forward to seeing the old neighborhood and familiar sights. As we drive him around, he'd often say, "Hey, pull over, I remember that," and out he goes, greeting bystanders with that unmistakable voice and hearty laugh, while we wonder how in the world we're going to get him back in the car. Why acting? I remember asking, "When did you know you wanted to be an actor?" He said the first time he saw a movie, he recognized himself there on the screen, and he knew that was what he was supposed to do. He never deviated from that difficult journey, even when his pop told him he couldn't be an actor because he couldn't ride a horse. They were big on Westerns on Brown Street. How we treat one another. In reading from What's Next, a new book about the series The West Wing, Mary McCormick remembers the day Martin was scheduled for his first scene. Most of the young actors knew him only by reputation and had no idea what to expect. They were excited to meet him and getting anxious because he wasn't there minutes before shooting. But he was there, taking time to meet every extra and crew member on the set, asking their name and welcoming each personally. She said she realized he was teaching them. He was showing that every single person had an important role and that each role would be valued and respected. When Martin saw the crew and actors were separated at mealtime, he insisted they eat together as a family, and they did. And so, from a big table of 12 at 451 Brown Street to a big table on a Hollywood set, he remains that boy from Dayton, standing up for others and showing, not telling, how it's done. Martin is one of those rare and lovely men who works very hard, but never thinks he's done enough, yet remains filled with hope and love. In this uncertain world, it's important to celebrate these things. So in closing, I'll share these words I'll share words from Martin that I have often found comforting and directive. Fear is useless, faith is necessary, and love is everything. My brother-in-law is a living testament to the importance of a social conscience and richly deserving of recognition. I am honored and gratefully accept this Trailblazer Award on his behalf. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Randy Phillips, and I have the distinct honor of serving as the Executive Director of Dayton Public Access Television, DATV. From Roxy Cole's founding vision to the inspiring journeys of our honorees and community voices shared here tonight, the truth shines clear that DATV is and has always been Dayton's community voice. A voice that rises from our neighborhoods, our schools, our houses of worship, our nonprofits, and from every individual who cares or dares to tell their story. But as we've seen here tonight, our work is far from done. If anything, the voices we've heard and the lives we've touched call us to reach even further. So now I want to take the time to share with you where we're headed in next. Because the future of DATV is not just about keeping the lights on. It's about turning up the volume on every story that deserves to be heard. It's about expanding opportunities, deepening our partnerships, and growing our impact, and ensuring that DATV continues to be the heartbeat of this community for generations to come. As we look ahead, I want you to imagine a DATV that is not only sustaining the community connections that we've built over the past 30 or 45 years, but is boldly expanding. A DATV that is bigger, brighter, and even more accessible than ever before. Imagine a DATV where our studios are alive with creativity every hour, where our expanded weekend hours and new team members make it possible for more voices to be heard, more stories to be told, and more dreams to be realized. Imagine walking into our new upgraded facility where state-of-the-art 4K cameras and 6K cameras, modern LED lighting, and an inviting new inspirational lounge create an atmosphere that sparks possibility the moment that you step through the door. A place where first-time creators and seasoned storytellers alike can feel at home, inspired to share their visions with the world. And it isn't just about technology. It's about people. We are investing in people. We are building deeper, lasting, longer relationships with schools so more students like those at Thurgood Marshall High School will have the chance to gain real-world broadcast experiences, calling games, producing the daily announcements, and finding their voice as young leaders. We're forging new alliances with nonprofits and other community groups, making sure that organizations in Dayton have the tools to amplify their message and expand their impact. We've seen what happens when we place a camera in the hands of a young person, a new American, a nonprofit leader. They don't just tell stories, they change lives. And we have set our sights high. We're aiming to raise $2.27 million over the next 3 years to fund these transformative initiatives, along with an additional $1 million needed to upgrade or enhance our facilities. And these aren't just numbers. They represent lives impacted, stories told, and voices amplified all across Dayton. We're not just planning for tomorrow. We're building a legacy for the future. Our goal is to grow our endowment fund by $3 million, ensuring that DATV remains a pillar in this community for generations to come, because at its heart, it's all about you, about all of us. It's about that young man who once doubted his future, but found his calling behind a camera at DATV. It's about a nonprofit leader who walked away with a professional video that helped change their lives in their community and spread their mission. It's about community members, the artists, the activists, the storytellers, all of whom, like Dayton, this extraordinary place that we live in. DATV is not just a station. It's a platform for hope, for change, and a canvas for creativity. And tonight, I invite you to stand with us, to invest in this vision, to help us create a DATV that is ready for the next 45 years of stories, voices, and impact. Together, let's build a future of Dayton's community voice. Thank you.
Artemis Center is proud to partner with DATV. Over the years, DATV has given our organization a platform to share our services with survivors of domestic violence. DATV's video and media services have helped amplify our voice while raising awareness of domestic violence right here in our community. By sharing their services, talent, and time, DATV has truly become a staple in Dayton and a trusted partner of Artemis Center.
I'm Amber Wright.
And I'm Sharday Oyeyemi.
We work at the Food Bank, Inc. We want to thank our longtime partners at Dayton Access Television,
also known as DATV,
for their continued support and helping us expand our voice to reach the greater Dayton community.
Your guidance and services have been a game changer for our nonprofit, and for that we are truly grateful.
Thank you, DATV.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Steve Ross.
I was fortunate enough to be hired by Roxy Cole, and I worked at DATV for 35 years as operations manager and spent 10 as the executive director. You know, I hate everything I wrote, as I think Dr. Brandt brought that up. I hate what I wrote. But I will tell you, as I stand here, because I can talk a lot longer than 3 minutes, I can give you a whole dissertation. But Roxy Cole was really about activism. I mean, she was a tough one to work for. But she was about activism through the idea of freedom of speech. And once you bit on that idea and you got on board, you bit hard, and you understood the importance of what was going on. Most of what I wrote is really based on what the members have done for the community over the years and the things that I've seen. And it's always been my honor to work for these folks. As Randy mentioned, through Roxy's vision, DATV became a place where the voiceless gained a voice and the underserved had an avenue to become a part of their community and feel like they were truly making a difference. The hard work and the dedication of the DATV members to freely express themselves brought the citizens of Dayton a new and invigorating version of television they've never seen before. And most importantly, it was one created out of freedom of speech. You see people from all walks of life making programs and helping others make programs for and about their communities. And when I say helping others, this is where I'm deviating. You see people from totally different walks of life and ideas and beliefs helping this person because they know the importance of giving them the venue and the avenue and the ability to get in front of that camera and say what is important to them. And they helped them, and it was without judgment. And that's what DATV has always been about. You know, we've talked briefly about some of the shows, some of the types of programs, legal help and resources for the poor, as Michelle has always done for 13 years, social change, religious beliefs, music, art, self-help, inclusion, and government issues, just to name a few. And whatever a DATV member chooses to talk about and share with the community, they have a place where they can gain the technical knowledge, the equipment, and programming pathways for getting their message out to not only their community, but communities throughout the world, since we stream 24 hours a day, both of our channels. I have personally witnessed hundreds of times members dragging out the equipment to cover events they think citizens would enjoy and benefit from. And this equipment, it's not just walking out with your cell phone, very powerful tool, so always remember that because it is. But these are cameras and lights and microphones and tripods and all these types of things. And you know what? Some of these people don't even have their own transportation, so they would hop on the RTA, go cover these events, to bring them back, to share with the community. I've also seen where our members have spent countless hours in the excruciating heat, the rain, the freezing temperatures to help DATV staff cover community events. They stand there for hours, 7-8 hours, running a camera, directing the show, whatever it takes. And I've always had so much respect for those folks and love. And like someone else said earlier, you treat these people like family, you get to know them, and you care about them. DATV is really a gathering place for people with different ideas. Over the years, I've always financially supported DATV and for what it's done for the community and for its members. DATV is one of the last safe places for the principle this country was founded on. I wanted to help them continue their mission of empowering citizens to build community through freedom of speech. We need to keep this going. I mean, it's very powerful what happens at our facility. And if you have not been to DATV, please call and get a tour. You will be astonished by what's available to the community. And the one last thing that I'd like to leave you with, and I talk about this often because I'm always out promoting DATV and telling people how they can benefit, but The last 2 or 3 years, we've been fortunate enough to host students from Bosnia-Herzegovina. And not only do we tell them briefly what DATV is and what community television is all about, they get to produce programs at that moment. Some will be on set, some will be learning how to operate the equipment, and the others will be in the pod room, the video lab. And then they all switch. And they have nothing like this where they live, and they're not encouraged to have a voice. But the interesting thing is that at the end of their time in the United States, they're given a survey, and they're asked, what is the most impactful part of your visit to the United States? You know, what had the most impact on you? They said DATV. I was shocked to hear this. And I heard this, and I can't remember who is it who hosts them, but they were the ones that gave them the survey and told how they really enjoyed what was going on at DATV. And that's important because now we have influenced people in other countries to do the same thing. So I want to thank you. I will continue my support of DATV. Financially, I'll help out in any way I possibly can, and I encourage you to do the same. Thank you very much.
Well, friends, what just fabulous stories. I mean, I've known of these stories. I've learned about the people that we were celebrating this evening, and just hearing it all live and having it all spoken in everybody's words, it's been really powerful. So friends, as I shared earlier, we've set a goal to raise $275,000 tonight. So great news. We had a few friends who couldn't be here tonight, but they made early gifts that we could count towards tonight's goal. These early gifts totaled $225,000. So to reach the $275,000 goal, what we really need to do tonight, raise here together, is $50,000. So we've also set a stretch goal to raise an additional $25,000, which if in total from tonight's commitment, that would cover the first year of the weekend update expansion, which Randy had mentioned. So we're very appreciative of our sponsor, Morgan Stanley, who covered the cost for this evening's event. And as you may recall, we didn't sell tickets or tables for this evening's event. And I want to tell you why. Because I'm going to ask each of you to consider a gift of $5,000 to DATV. We know that if we raise this additional $50,000, we'll be able to launch into our first year of expanded hours of operation to include evenings and weekends, which will enable even more creators to take advantage of our resources, both staff resources and technologies. We know that many families in the room tonight could give $5,000, and that if you did, we could meet and exceed this goal. Some of you have the capacity to make even larger gifts, maybe $10,000, $25,000, who knows, $50,000. And we're grateful. We thank you. I've got some additional great news. We're not going to wait to let you know how we did tonight. We're going to do a live tally and share with you tonight what we've been able to accomplish together. I'd like to draw your attention to the pledge cards that each of you have at your seats. On the one side, we put a giving estimator. It just gives you an idea about all the different ways you might consider a $5,000 commitment. So if we could just take a look real quickly at the pledge card together. Again, if every family considered tonight $5,000, this group would be responsible for raising up to our stretch goal. of $75,000 for tonight. So we don't have a live auction. We don't have a silent auction. We have no other gimmicks. It's simply your generosity. So as we shared from the families and businesses who have already made commitments tonight, we've already raised that $225,000, 80% of our goal. So I really know that we can do it. I'd like to be clear that whatever commitment that you choose to make, you can remit it in a way that makes sense for you and for your family. So all those options are considered, whether you want to make a one-time gift tonight of $5,000 or $1,000 a year for 5 years, or you could do it over 2 years and make it for $2,500 per year. And there's the option of 3 years at $1,667 a year, and that would total $5,000, or even $200 a month pledge for 25 months for a total of $5,000. There's so many options. Even the $85 a month for 5 years. That's half your cell phone bill. So of course, as I said, every gift matters, and we'd appreciate every gift that you might thoughtfully consider to give tonight. So regardless, we know that every family will make their best gift, and we're grateful for all the gifts that we receive. So if we could, you have pens at your table, and you have a pledge card. I just want to also have you just take a look at the other side. And so first of all, if there are two of you, if you're a couple, put your first and last name, put both of your first names on the card, and then your last name, if you will. If you're writing a check, we put a paper clip on your card so you could attach the check, and that way it will stay with the card. And also, once you choose, so the way that we did this, you could make a one-time gift tonight and put that there. You could also decide, well, I also want to make a pledge. And so you could put that in the box below it. Either way, whatever you do choose to do, if you could total it and put it up here in the corner, it's going to make our little tally a whole lot easier and faster. So if you decide to do a gift and a pledge, then you total it up and put it there in the corner. So our volunteers, I think I better tell you, the volunteers are going to come around with baskets, and what we'd like you to do, once you complete your pledge card, fold it in half, raise your hand, and they'll come around with a basket. You can just drop your card in the basket. And so whenever you're finished, hold your hand up high, and they'll come around. So no worries, we're not calling out anybody's names, and just the dollar amounts, excuse me. So also, you're not going to have to email Randy or give him a call tomorrow. We're going to do that live tally tonight to find out what we've accomplished together. Again, we appreciate a gift of any amount to this campaign, and we're grateful for your support.
Are you working to get the word out about your organization? Based on personal experience with my company, Sochi, I highly recommend that you give Dayton Public Access Television a try. Since 1978, DATV has been here in Dayton to serve as a community forum that empowers all people to learn, create, and express their ideas through electronic media. DATV does an amazing job at amplifying diverse voices across our community by providing a platform for expression, education, and engagement. They can help you tell your story through learning how to produce, create, and communicate.
All right, so you guys heard some amazing stories tonight, and we hope that those are encouraging you to fill out those pledge cards and make a really big pledge there. Now, it doesn't matter, I mean, maybe $5,000 isn't in your ability to do that, but whatever you can give would certainly be appreciated. It's ways that we can continue to be that voice of the community, to make sure Marilyn can educate us more about financial stuff, to make sure Miss Demure, who's got the longest running LGBT show on community access, continues to be able to get that word out. Those are all things that we want to make sure. Getting those students to learn their voice and be able to produce their own shows, it's huge for us. So please, let's make sure that you are being incredibly generous in filling out those cards. If I see your card at the end of the night still on your table, not filled out, I might name your name. So please make sure that you're filling those out. I also want to congratulate our luminaries who were given awards tonight. Hopefully you learned a lot about some of the people that give and give and give in our community, whether that's Dr. Bob, Janelle Ross, Mama O, or Martin Sheen. They make a huge difference in being that voice to our community and giving us the power to continue to make gifts and make information available to our community. So that's what we ask all of you. So once you filled out that pledge card, throw your hand up and we'll have somebody come by and make sure that they get that from you. If you don't happen to have a check with you or you don't have your credit card with you, you can still make a pledge there and we can follow up if we need to on that. But we've tried to make it very, very easy for you. So I'm going to start out by reading some of the pledges that we actually have gotten tonight to encourage you. Our first pledge, $5,000, $500, $100, $100 with a check attached, $1,000, $8,000, $5,000, $500, $250, and another $250. So we appreciate you digging deep and being generous with those contributions. It's going to continue to make DATV able to make a difference in our community, and that's so important to all of us. Like I said, if you filled out that pledge card, throw your hand up and we'll have somebody collect that from you. Okay? A couple more. Got another $5,000 pledge, a $300 pledge, another $5,000 pledge. Oh, somebody even handed us cash. God bless you. Got a $100 pledge and a $50 pledge. You guys did a good job of folding these up.
Really?
And I'm impressed with how many people have their checkbook with them.
That's what
Thank
I'm
you.
saying, yeah.
Let's see. Next pledge, $500, $2,000. $2,500 pledge, a $150 pledge, a $400 pledge, a $1,200 pledge, an annual pledge of $600 a year. You guys are making a huge difference and we so appreciate it. I see a couple pledge cards still out there on the tables. I want to thank all of you for spending part of your evening with us tonight for DATV. Would like to thank the Dayton Masonic for hosting us tonight. Would also like to once again thank Morgan Stanley for making tonight possible. Hold those pledge cards up real high if you still have them. We will get those collected. Got some more. Got a nice $500 pledge, $100, $100, $250, $500, another $500, $200, another $200, and somebody who dug deep, $2,500. You can applaud, that's certainly worthy. Another cash donation, like those people that carry that cash with them. Thank you for your $100 donation. Is there anybody left with a pledge card out there still? We've got our accountants over here busily adding up all the numbers. If you still have a pledge card out there, please raise your hand. Otherwise, we're going to be able to give you the grand total of money raised tonight.
Okay, folks who are left in the room, I know we had a lot of long-winded people speaking tonight. So, tonight we were able to raise $43,550. I think that is extraordinary. That's awesome. So, look at what we've been able to do together tonight. It's an incredible show of support, and because of your generosity, we've been able to accomplish that. And that's something to celebrate. This number isn't just dollars and cents, it's equipment in the hands of creators and stories brought to life. More voices amplified and more individuals and entities empowered, and more lives touched through the magic of DATV. We did set an ambitious goal, and though we didn't quite cross that finish line tonight, what we did do is ignite something. We've built powerful momentum, and we're not done yet. For those of you who are still considering your gift, there's still time, tonight, tomorrow, and in the weeks and months to come. Thank you for showing up, for believing, and for standing with us. From all of us at DATV, thank you, thank you, thank you. Get home safely, stay inspired. We can't wait to see what we build together next.